let's get back to our cut, copy, and paste. Obviously, in a document, I sometimes want to move stuff around. So I'm going to use a combination of keyboard shortcuts to move my cursor and to select, as well as to do cut, copy, and paste. Let's say that I would like "now I will make a change" to be the first sentence in this document. Well, a couple of ways I can do that. I'm going to press Control Home just to make sure I know where my cursor is. Then I'm going to press my down arrow to move to the beginning of the sentence I want. I'm going to hold Shift End to select that entire line. I did all of that with my keyboard. Now I want to physically move this to the beginning of the document. That means I need to do a cut technique. There are three basic ways that you can do a cut or a copy technique. The first is to find the cut button on the toolbar. For newer applications, it's going to be on the Home tab, in the Clipboard group, and then you'll find the cut option. For applications that still use the menu, it's going to be under the Edit menu, and you'll find Edit Cut, Edit Copy, and Edit Paste. The second thing that I can do is I can right-click on a selection. Once I have a selection made, if I right-click, I get to see the options available for that selection, and I could choose Cut or Copy. That's not what I want to do, so I'm going to press Escape because I want to show you the third technique. Actually, I can't show you the third technique. I actually just have to tell you what it is because it's a keyboard command. If you look down at your keyboard, there are 4 letters all together on the lower left: Z, X, C, and V. They're all right next to each other. And these 4 keys work together with keyboard commands. Control Z is the shortcut for undo. Control X is the shortcut for cut. Control C is the shortcut for copy. And Control V as in Victor is the shortcut for paste. I'm going to use my keyboard. I'm going to choose Control X, which physically removes the data and places it on the clipboard. Now I'm going to press my up arrow, put my cursor where I want this to go, and now again I have 3 options. I could choose the Paste button from the left side of my ribbon. I could right-click where my cursor is and choose Paste, or I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut, which is Control V as in Victor. When I press Control V, there I've just pasted it into place. So it was a very small change, but also one that's very easy to see. I physically moved it from one place to the other. Now let's practice with a copy. I'm going to use the same techniques to select the last line. Holding Shift, pressing End, and this time I'm going to do Control C to make a copy. Notice that this time it doesn't disappear because I haven't cut it, I have just made a copy. Now I can press my up arrow, press Home to get my cursor back at the beginning, and again press Control V because we paste whether we cut or copied. And now we can see that I have a full copy of that line. Using these techniques are ones that you honestly will use over and over and over again anytime you use a computer. Most people don't even really think about how often they use it. So those are the basics, but now I want to show you a shortcut. I love shortcuts. I've shown you a few already using the keyboard. This is another one. I am going to do the equivalent of cut and paste and copy and paste, but I'm going to do it using a different technique. Instead of using the toolbar or the menu or the right click or a keyboard shortcut, I'm going to use something called drag and drop. So I've been using my keyboard up to this point. Now I'm actually going to use the mouse. I'm going to click and drag over my second line to select it. And then I'm going to let go of my mouse. Then I'm going to put the mouse cursor right in the middle of the selection. And I'm going to press and hold my left mouse button. While I'm holding my left mouse button, I'm going to do a drag and drop. Holding the left mouse button, I'm going to drag my cursor up, and you can see that I actually get a little vertical line where I'm actually going to place this. Now I don't want to place it in the middle of the line, so I'm going to move over to the left, make sure that that vertical bar is before this is a file, and now I'm going to let it go. I just did the equivalent of a cut and paste, but you have to trust me when I say that doing it with drag and drop was a lot faster. I didn't have to select, move to a menu or a ribbon, make the cut or copy, move somewhere else, and do the paste. It was all kind of one easy step. Just to show you again, it's already selected. I'll press and hold, and I'll drag it after the exclamation mark and save. And there we go. Now this time it did not put it on its own line. And there's some word processing reasons for that, but right now that's just fine. That's okay. But let's say that now I want to do something different with this. I don't want to move it, I want to copy it. Well, you can copy using drag and drop as well. The beginning of the technique is the same. You're still going to make your selection. You're still going to put your cursor right in the middle of the selection. But then I'm going to press and hold my Control key. While I'm holding Control, I'm going to finish the drag and drop. I'm going to press and hold my left mouse button, and I'm going to drag down. Now I want you to look carefully at my cursor here. It looks different than when I did a drag and drop to move. I have the white cursor, but I also have a little plus sign below it. The plus sign lets me know that I'm copying instead of moving. The only tricky part to this technique is you must let go of your mouse button before you let go of the Control key. If you let go of the Control key before the mouse, it will end up moving it, not copying it. So let me show that to you one more time. Hold my Control key, press and hold my left mouse button. While holding my left mouse button, I'm going to drag down, let go of my left mouse button first, let go of my Control key second. So we've just done several things. We've moved the cursor, we've made some selections, we've done cut, copy, and paste in the traditional way, and we've also done cut, copy, and paste using drag and drop. Hopefully all of that is crystal clear. It takes a little bit of practice, especially for the drag and drop. It's that eye-hand coordination thing, but it isn't too difficult. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this document under a different name. So I'll move up to the upper left-hand side, click on my button, would be the File menu if you still have a File menu. I'm going to do Save As. The dialog box comes up and it tells me that currently this is saved in Documents called Sample Saved Document. Well, I'm going to simply rename this. I'm going to call it Sample Saved Document 2. Then I'll press OK, which is the same as clicking on Save, because if I look at the Save button, it's highlighted. When it's highlighted, I know that I can press Enter, which is the same as clicking the button itself. Beautiful. Now I can move over and close out WordPad. This should get us back to our document.